My friend. You say humans and elves coexisting, but what does that even mean, huh? Hey there. Give me some.
Previously he had been a random background character with absolutely no game until one fateful day. When he woke up he found himself within his favourite game that he spent countless hours grinding in. Now, after getting adjusted to this life and getting hot babes to follow him around, he wonders if there is a bigger purpose to his life. Lying in his bed with no girls but his little fox thing is our protagonist Ark. He had previously spawned into this world as a skeleton, but he recently figured out he can cure his own bony body. This soon fades away, however, causing him to only be uncursed for a moment. Eventually, after casting an uncursed spell on his arm enough times, he gives it up, thinking he will be a bony boy forever. With Ark being a busy man today, he follows Ariane, the baddest elf in the village, to hopefully continue on his journey. This time he is following her to meet with other elves, and hopefully arrive at the Dragon Lord's spring, which is said to cure all curses. Once he attempts to approach it, however, some mosquitoes come after him, so he runs away, showing he is scared of bugs. Following these events, he goes to get some grub alongside Ariane, where they talk about their future together. Ariane tells him that if they want to reach the Dragon Lord's lair, then they should go around the woods to stay safe. Ark, on the other hand, thinks it would be best to go straight through them. As he says this, some filthy waiter lady walks up on them, urging them not to go through the woods, showing she was eavesdropping on them. With this being said, Ariane talks cautiously, telling Ark they should set out for the woods first thing tomorrow. Meanwhile, within the Rodent Kingdom, a kingdom with nobles responsible of the elven slave trade, the princess gets ready to set out to meet with the elves. She tells her hot maid that the longer they wait to talk, the more tension will arise, so she wants to get there as quickly as she can. Once her guard closes her door, however, the soldier looks up at a shady figure overlooking them. While this occurs, Ark and Ariane continue on their journey, going through the forest disregarding the filthy waiter's advice. Eventually they are stopped by an unfamiliar monster, a white wolf. With ease Ark takes it down, but this only causes more to spawn in. With every hit they simply disappear and reappear, making Ark have to explain it to us. With there actually only being one wolf, a leader, all of this fighting is meaningless. Even though he knows this and can easily defeat such wolves, he decides anyway to continue his attacks. After some time, Ariane finally deals with the wolves herself, piercing one with magic. Ark, on the other hand, ignores the wolves completely, flexing his durability on them. He then spots the leader of the wolf overlooking them, so he rushes it, hoping to take it down. Before he can, the wolf moves, however, and the fight becomes intense. That is until Ark cheats and uses his bony body to his advantage. After catching the monster off guard, he slices off the suspicious bracelet on it, releasing its evil intentions. This makes Ark wonder what this evil bracelet truly is, having seen it once before. He tries to inspect it, but like last time it vanishes into mid-air, leaving no trace behind. Although he didn't get to inspect it, he still knows that the ring on the legs of these monsters are causing them to go out of control. Once he finishes talking, Ariane asks him if she can do something real quick. Before we continue, let's take a moment to answer the question of the day. What is your favourite isekai anime? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out in the next video. Now back to the recap. She looks over at one of the defeated wolves and asks him if she can butcher it, to which he accepts. On another side of this same forest, the princess travels alongside her maid, thinking nothing is abrupt. As they move further, the hot maid asks her if there is something wrong. The princess explains that although she is going on this trip, everything regarding it has been hidden, and she knows her visiting the elves hurts the second prince. She thinks something is going to happen, and as she does, the carriage instantly starts rocking. Ariane, on the other hand, finally finishes stringing up the wolves in preparation to butcher them. Right before they start Ponta, the fox thing runs off, asking Ark to follow suit. As he chases after Ponta, the princess is cornered by three shady figures. They go in to try and take the princess, but Ferna has other plans, sacrificing herself to help the princess. The princess then exits the carriage to help, but she meets the same fate. With the princess having the same number of gird as your typical merchant, the perpetrators say it was too easy. As they laugh at their spoils, Ponta emerges onto one of their faces. He goes to kill Ponta, but his arm is broken before he can by the beast Ark. He asks them what they think they are doing to two baddies, bending down to heal them. As he heals them, the others shoot attacks at him, but it does absolutely nothing, making him seem impossible to damage. Then suddenly the wolf monster he defeated earlier emerges and gives him a hand, taking down the wannabe bandit thugs. Although some got away, Ark is still satisfied with the result. Now with everyone gone, he uses his overpowered magic to revive the princess. He takes a couple glances at her bod, but realizes the maid is much better looking, so he focuses his attention on her. After this, he tries to heal the others, but gets no such luck, only being able to heal the girls. While he tries to heal everyone, the princess wakes up, wondering if Ark is an angel. Following these events, the princess later wakes up to Ferna standing over her, asking if she is all right. She tells the princess that somehow she came back to life along with some of the other guards. The princess then inspects her dress and sees the blood, making her wonder if it truly was an angel she saw before her. With this knowledge, she gathers her men and gives them a speech to encourage them. She claims that God sent down a divine angel to revive them, thinking their purpose is yet to be fulfilled. With this in mind, she sets out for the elven village once again, not knowing it was Ark who saved them. Ark then thinks about it and realizes reviving magic is taking it too far. It will surely go down in history if he continues to do so. He then goes back to his main girl, telling her he was just walking around. Eventually, after some time, Ark arrives at the village in which Ariane's sister is getting married. While they walk, some fat kid bangs into him while arguing with some little kid. They all roast the girl, but she smacks them around, making the kids look like fools. With this completed, she looks at Ark, making him feel nervous. She approaches him kindly, however, and reintroduces herself as the ninja girl he met from before. A few days before she re-encountered Ark, she had been spending her time searching for her own enslaved people. When she first encountered Ark, she thought that he would smell like your typical musty human, but he was different. Not only did he smell differently, but he also recognized her as a ninja, all the while having the cute fox pet. This gave her a good first impression of him, making her feel fortunate to run into him yet again. Ark, on the other hand, finds it to be lucky to meet this girl again, previously thinking she was fine. Ariane then asks who this girl is, so he explains she helped with their mission in getting the elf slaves back. The ninja girl finally introduces herself as Kiyomi, one of the Jinshin's 6 ninja. She explains that she works as an exclusive shinobi for hire, only dealing with the most dangerous of tasks. They then head into an inn where the girls are left to talk amongst each other. While they talk, Ark wonders if he will have a chance at her, recognizing her as a hot furry ninja girl. Despite his lust, he holds back and formally introduces himself to Kiyomi. Once they get the introductions out of the way, Kiyomi asks Ark why he called her a ninja. With ninjas being pretty common in his homeland, he explains that he recognized her right away. She tells him, however, that only people in her clan know the name of the ninja. She explains that if he wasn't from their clan, then he must come from the same place as the Great Founder. He thinks that the Great Founder may be a Japanese man, but when he learns the Great Founder died 600 years ago, he is left without an answer. Ariane then asks her why she is in this city, wondering what is going on with her. She explains a similar thing as Ariane, telling Ark the beast people are enslaved within this city. This makes Ark remember his missions with Ariane, saving the beast people. She continues by asking for his help in her duty, hoping he has some kind of information. Ark, however, informs her that he is currently working under the elves as a mercenary, so she needs to speak with Ariane to employ him. Although she is reluctant at first to share her mans, she decides to lend Ark to her stead. On top of this, she offers her own services, relating to what she is going through. With them now teamed up, Ark asks what this job entails, so she shows them. While this happens, the second prince is seen throwing a glass upon hearing his sister came out alive from the attacks. He knows if she happens to reach the Elven Kingdom, then his plans will surely fall through. With this in mind, he asks if there is any other way to fight back, but with a majority of his forces being taken out, he is left as a loser. There is one other option, however, the attendant informing him he has a hidden safe house he can wait in, knowing if they reach the Elven Kingdom he will be exposed. Ark, on the other hand, continues his adventures, this time following closely behind Kiyomi. She tells him more about the Great Founder, informing him he founded her clan. His name was Hanzo, making Ark sure that he was a Japanese man based on his name. He thinks that the Great Founder was amazing to be able to found a ninja clan and still be talked about 600 years later. After some time, they finally arrive to the largest slave market in all of the lands. Kiyomi tells the others that they are going to raid this place and free all of the slaves. Within this slave market, there are hundreds of enslaved beast people. Included in this is a large pit of bodies that didn't make the cut, showing they mean business in their trades. Kiyomi shares that although they can invade this place, there are still other markets, this only being one of the large facilities. Despite this, Kiyomi tells them that if they take this place down, tons of other places will suffer. Upon hearing this, Ark decides to propose using his teleportation magic to get within the area easily. This surprises Kiyomi, so she tells him he can use the same magic as the Great Founder, calling it space-time jutsu. With this being said, Kiyomi rushes ahead to start her attack, leaving the others to find their own way inside. With her telling them they will start their attack at nightfall, Ark decides to waste some time in the meantime. He heads back to his inn and begins munching on whatever food he can fit in his stomach. Accompany this with some good wine and he has an amazing meal. While he eats, Ariane proposes some new kind of food to him, thinking he will like it. When he first tries it, he is skeptical, but the flavour begins melting in his mouth. She tells him this meat comes from the mosquitoes he was chased by earlier. Even after hearing this, he continues eating, not caring that he is eating bug meat. Once they finish the meal, they get ready to head back to the slave market, but first Ark wants to try something out. He puts on a new outfit, along with a strange mask, making him look even crazier than he usually does. Ariane tells him although it hides his face, the mask is pretty creepy, making her cringe. Finally, after some time, Kiyomi meets back up with them, accompanied by another ninja, Goemon. Once he hears this, Ark asks Kiyomi if that is her real name, but he soon learns that it's not. He realizes that the 6 ninja are named after people from Japanese time, making him even more sure that the Great Founder was Japanese. While they talk, Goemon approaches Ark with hostility, eventually causing the two to have a display of strength. With neither side letting up, they begin fighting, or so the others think. They soon start getting buddy-buddy, however, making the girls wonder what's going on. Following these events, they stake out the slave market, finally being ready to begin the operation. They leave the main attack to Ark and Goemon, knowing they are the strongest. Upon arriving at the front gate, the guards start tweaking, raising their weapons and telling them to stand down. Ark doesn't stop, however, telling Goemon to start the attack. They then begin rushing towards the gate, taking it down in the process. Now, with such a large commotion going on, the others enter the facility as well, trusting the men to deal with the guards. After taking down the initial guards, they call for more, bringing everyone within the castle to the front. With the combined looks of Ark and Goemon, the guards are not only scared by their attacks, but also wonder what they even are. Along with this, by combining their magic together, Ark and Goemon cause a massive ruckus within the area. While all of these attacks occur, the second prince learns of them, being stunned that someone would try something that crazy. He tells his attendant that no matter what, the market cannot fall. Meanwhile, Ariane and Kiyomi finally enter the market, searching every nook and corner. With Kiyomi bringing more ninjas to assist here in her task, it seems as if their raid is going perfectly. Eventually, they encounter a long hallway with many doors, one of which looking extra suspicious. During their exploration, Ponta faces off against some of the intruders, showing even she plans on fighting. Before she can display her skills, however, Kiyomi takes the guards out. This time, Ariane decides to display her skills, roasting all of the guards into smithereens. With this out of the way, they head down the long spiral staircase until they eventually reach the basement floor. With hundreds of beast people captured, Kiyomi announces they are finally free. She asks those who can fight to take up arms, while those who can't to stay out of the way. As they free the people, more and more guards run up on them, making them seem endless. To someone like Ark, however, a large amount of guards is no problem, dealing with them with ease. Along with his own skills, he has Goemon's skills to easily break through any forces coming their way. They decide to regroup with the others, but surprisingly they meet with them first. Ariane explains that everybody is freed except for one remaining building in the distance. With this being said, they are forced to split up, Goemon urging Ark to take the lead. He stays behind while Ark and the others continue forward, hoping to free any remaining slaves. Now, with the addition of Ark to the girls' group, it makes their mission even easier, nobody being able to stand against them. Then finally, after a long travel, they reach the remaining beast people and free them, making everybody within the area free. Everything is going well until Kiyomi reaches one particular cell with a strong stench. She hesitates at first, but opens it regardless, only to find a large group of thrown-out beast people. This enrages Kiyomi, but she knows she has done her best, so all she can do is try better in the future. Goemon, on the other hand, continues fighting now alone, taking on what seems to be an infinite number of guards. While he fights, it takes a moment to defeat them, allowing time for reinforcements to arrive. Thanks to Ark's teleportation skills, however, he is easily able to get the best people out of the area into freedom. He tells the others to watch over the beast people, hoping to take his anger out on these guards. After some time, he arrives back to Goemon's side, informing him that they have succeeded in freeing all of the slaves. With this knowledge, the two of them go all out, not wasting any time to display their skills. Ariane and Kiyomi watch from a distance, wondering when they will finally come back. Sometime after Ark reappears not only with Goemon but also with all of the fallen beast people. He asks Ariane to burn them, hoping their spirits will finally be put to rest. The party watches as these fallen people finally lose their suffering, all the while vowing to become stronger to never let this happen again. Following these events, the second prince is enraged, wondering how it is possible for such a largely protected market to fall. He claims that he will solve the matter himself, but before he can leave Cetrion, his closest attendant stabs him, thus ending his life. Following this, the first prince, Sect, emerges, telling the others it's unfortunate things ended up this way. This reveals that he is also in on the large hoax within the kingdom, showing he is just as evil, if not more evil, than the second prince. Standing over his fallen brother, he claims the throne is finally secured for himself. Ark, on the other hand, says his goodbyes to Kiyomi and Goemon after completing their mission. Before leaving, Goemon decides to have one last brawl with Ark to see if either side has weakened, like they both thought neither side has weakened, making them become good friends. As this happens, Ariane tells Kiyomi they can't let the men outshine them, hoping to become stronger alongside her. With this out of the way, they head back to their main task at hand, meeting with Ariane's sister for her wedding. Kiyomi informs them that although it was fun travelling, she has more missions to complete, so she needs to leave soon. Before she does, she tells them she will give them the information they have been asking for. While they chat it up, the princess finally arrives at her destination, meeting up with her sister. With them not having seen each other in quite some time, the princess apologizes to her sister for taking so long. She then informs the princess that she thought she was dead based on what the prince said. This stuns her, so they head inside, where her sister tells her that the second prince is dead. She says that it is suspected that he ended up killing her, having the necklace she had during his death. This makes the princess think that Sect might actually be behind it, being unsure who to trust now. The princess then decides to keep the story of her being dead flowing through the kingdom, to see if she can use it to her advantage. On top of this, she still wants to meet with the elves to better their future for the kingdom. Within a forest, Ark is seen chatting it up with Ariane about their next task. Before they left, however, Kiyomi informed them that the Holy Revlon Empire, a neighbouring kingdom, is actually behind the slave trades. This makes Ark wonder what kind of kingdom it is, seeing Ariane's seriousness when hearing of this kingdom. While he heads towards this kingdom to get to the bottom of it all, we see someone of power meeting with another. This man is revealed to be the Emperor of the Revlon Kingdom, revealing he was the one behind not only the second prince's assassination, but also the princess's. He also happens to be the main producer of the rings that latch onto these monsters, showing if anyone he is the main antagonist. Not only this, but he is in close contact with the first prince, hoping to bring their kingdom to the ground. Ark is unaware of all of this information, however, so he goes about his day, continuing to explore leisurely. They eventually are stopped by a large group of wyverns, so Ark decides to display some of his strength. With him having large range lighting magic, he uses a skill that brings all of the wyverns to the ground. As if he was Count Dooku, he sprays lightning everywhere, hitting even his allies. Thanks to this attack, he is able to get a sneak peek of Ariane's behind, impressing him deeply. As he inspects it, a green-haired nerd is seen looking over them. After some travelling, they eventually reach a tavern where they get their drinking on. Ark apologizes to Ariane for spraying her with his magic, but they eventually forget about it. Ariane then begins explaining their upcoming route, pointing through various areas. Ark notices that Ariane's facial expression is rather grim, so he asks if everything is alright. She tells him that within this kingdom, the capture of elves isn't illegal, making her nervous. As they speak, the green nerd guy emerges, introducing himself as Carsey. Once he does, Ariane covers his face, telling him to hide his ears. After she does this, the clerk emerges, asking him if he wants the usual drink. Other people start to chat it up with him, showing he isn't just some nobody within town. He tells them that he has settled down in this town and lived here for over 10 years. This makes Ariane stunned, thinking it would be impossible for an elf to live with humans. He tells her that people treat him normally, not knowing why she's freaking out so much. He explains that even though they have hurt their race, she is one to talk, being a dark elf, while travelling with a human. He then begins informing them what he does for a living, telling them he inspects and dissects monster bodies. He asks them to help him out with a task with hopes of getting some more monster bodies. They try to deny his request, but when he presents a map of the entire kingdom of Revlon, they start to change their minds. He then decides to throw in a book that includes all of his studies on monsters. This offer entices Ark, so he begs Ariane to trust this man, claiming he will take care of his needs. Kasi then tells them to meet back up with him the following day in the morning. Ark then heads over to talk with the clerk, giving her a large sum of money in exchange for a top-tier room. She tries to hand the money back, but he insists, causing her to offer him a barrel of her finishest alcohol. Later that night, Ariane wonders if humans can truly live with elves, thinking her whole life the races would never get along. With her complaining a lot, Ark decides to drink as much as he can to alleviate her yapping. She sees this and starts drinking as well until she takes on a bit too much. Ark notices her ears flapping like crazy, so he gets excited down below. He then tries to liquor himself and is stunned by how strong it is. Once he finishes his shot, Ariane starts to come onto him, making him wonder if he should follow suit. With her only taking 2 shots and getting wasted, he wonders if he should ever drink with her again. He thinks maybe it's just from drinking a bit, but she continues all night making a ruckus. In the morning, she wakes up to find the entire room destroyed along with her in bed. On top of this, she finds Ark without his armor on, scaring her from thinking it's an undead. Once they finally go downstairs to face the clerk, they try to play it off as if nothing happened. She knows what really happened, however, having spiked the drink the previous night. They then head out in front of the town where they meet up with the group. Kasi tells them that they must have had a fun time last night, saying everyone in town heard the screams. As they travel, Ariane gets incredibly sick, combining her hangover along with the stench from goblin bodies behind them. Kasi then begins explaining what they are actually trying to capture, handing him a notebook with the details. Ark talks with Kasi's friend and reminds him that Ariane is still a bit scared of humans, hence her cold attitude. To lower the tension, the guy hands Ark a drink to hand to her, hoping she will enjoy it. This helps the relationship between the two a bit, making her not as nervous around him. Ark then talks with Kasi about the monster, to which he learns they are after a large worm-like monster. He tells Ark that its favourite snack is wyverns, so it's not an easy monster to defeat. As they talk together, Ariane notices that the other wagon has disappeared, making her wonder what's going on. As soon as she says this, the monster they are after emerges, making Kasi stunned. He says he has never seen something this big, urging them to run away. With the monster after his friend, however, Ariane is forced to fight back. She tries to damage it, but does nothing, forcing Ark to step into the rescue. He stops the monster with a single hand, and urges her to go help the others regroup. With this, he enters a battle of strength against the monster, eventually overpowering it and tossing it to the ground. It is revealed this monster also had one of the rings on it, causing it to attack the others. They then take this monster back to the city, where Kasi presents them with the reward. He says he didn't expect them to be able to take it down, let alone so quickly. With this, Ark tries to leave, but Ariane stops him, asking Kasi why he lives with humans. Kasi tells her that he loves humans, having grown up in an elven village but didn't feel like he was treated well. When he moved to a human land, however, people were much nicer, making his dream to one day make humans and elves coexist. He tells Ariane that on top of this, he isn't the only one advancing this. The lord of a place called Lambert, recently wedding an elven girl. Ariane assumes she was forced to marry him, but Kasi reveals it was pure love. They are also 2 people who are striving for better relations between the 2 races, making it seem like it could happen during their lifetimes. While they continue their adventure, a devious-looking man sits atop his throne speaking with another. He reveals himself as Fumba, one of the main people involved in the slave trading. He tells the man before him that the emperor should be happy with him after all he has done. It is also revealed that he is a key person involved with making these monsters aggro. One of these monsters seems to have 5 rings embedded in it, making you wonder just how dangerous it is. Finally, after a long journey, Ark arrives at the Holy Revlon Empire, ready to investigate the elven slave trades. Although he is here in the flesh, he still wonders if he can really make a difference, slave trading being legal in this kingdom. Ark then decides to split up from Ariane to cover more ground during their investigation. While acting, he gets distracted, so he sits around feeding Ponta. Although he has been mostly slacking off, he is sure of one thing. Most of the people are unaware of what's happening within the kingdom. Then after he is done slacking off, he gets ready to meet back up with Ariane until he overhears a girl screaming. Upon investigation, he finds a blonde baddie, so he decides to rescue her in hopes of getting some special service. The other thugs run in to try and stop him, but are dealt with in the same manner. Now, after he finishes saving this girl, he asks why they were after her in the first place. As she is leaning on him in worry, Ariane finally reappears, getting the wrong idea when seeing him. Ark quickly explains what happened, making her wonder why he is always minding other people's business. She then approaches the girl and tells her to buzz off already, showing Ark is her man. With her terrifying gaze, she runs off, knowing if she continues it will cause trouble. Ark then walks to the inn for the night, along with Ariane, where he asks her why she is so flustered. She denies everything, acting as if she didn't get jealous upon seeing the other girl with him. Following these events, the three thugs go to meet back up with Fumba, where they have to explain why they let the girl get away. With each of them blaming the other, Fumba decides to just throw them out and feed them to his monster. After this happens, he walks back into his lair, where he looks down upon the strongest of his monsters. Ark, on the other hand, finally arrives at the place where they suspect a majority of the slave trade is taking place. They go to check it out as usual, not caring what may await them. Upon arriving, Ark asks her how she got all of this information in the first place. She tells him while he was off slacking off playing around with women, she actually found something out. He tries to play it off, but she still shows anger, making Ark wonder when she will be back to normal. They then infiltrate the hideout, but it is much too quiet, making them wonder what's going on. Ariane then goes to a hidden door she somehow knows is there and opens it up, leading Ark downstairs. Instantly, the area reeks of dead animals, making them question what lies ahead. To start, they make sure to take the front guards out silently, ensuring their cover is kept. Ark then opens the door after Ariane is unable to, revealing it was a sliding door. They look around the facility and notice various animal furs on the ground carrying the rotten stench. As they search, Ponta guides them into a more devious-looking lair deeper within the area. They find nothing in it at first, but one thing that is clear is the stench of blood reeks. Then suddenly Fumba emerges before the two, asking what they are doing in his base. He stops quickly, however, after seeing Ariane's stunning figure. He tells her that she will become his now, but this only infuriates her. She brings her sword out to strike, but rather than hit him, she ends up pointing her sword at Ark. This makes him question what's going on, so he asks Fumba what he is up to. Before he gets an answer, however, Ariane throws him down to the ground, immobilizing him. This makes Ark realize she is under control, so he uses his uncursing magic, but it quickly gets cast upon her once again. In Ariane's perspective, she finds herself lying in a deep forest, rotting her time away. She sees her sister standing above her, asking her to hurry up and get to training. This makes her question what's going on, but her sister quickly informs her that she is too weak to protect anyone. Ark recognizes it as a hydra, while Kayomi calls it the destroyer of nations. They also find 5 of the rings embedded within it, causing Ark to become even more enraged. As they talk, the hydra notices their presence, forcing Ark to act fast. Fumba thinks that this attack ended them, remembering back on his past. He had been raised in a monster-tamer village full of bald-headed monks. He ended up getting cast out of this bald-headed village and somehow got an audience with the Emperor. At first the Emperor thought he was some random monster, but after he asked him to show him what he is worth, Fumba did his hardest to find the strongest monster. One day he happened to stumble upon the Hydra, where he made sure to direct it towards a city. It is revealed that under the Emperor's guidance he was ordered to do all of this. Ark, on the other hand, somehow survived thanks to his shield and teleportation powers. After he does this, he realizes that Ariane is nowhere to be found, so he looks around. He spots her standing on top of a rock, glowing with an intense red energy. She tells Ark that she is tired of people like him, urging him to get back into battle. She vows to make him pay for what he did, showing no mercy whatsoever. Before they head out, they talk about their plans, but Ark seems to see it not as a big deal. He tells them he has a plan already in mind, urging them to leave the Hydra to him. While all of this goes down, the Emperor hears from his attendant that everything is going smoothly. He thinks that the Hydra under Fumba's control will soon destroy a town that has been causing problems for him for some time. Meanwhile, the Hydra continues its march towards the city, causing everyone in the town to erupt in chaos. With its huge appearance and terrifying attacks, the soldiers are forced to proceed with the utmost caution. Then, right as the Hydra goes to send its first attack, Ark stops it in its place. This causes the Hydra to focus its attention on Ark, unknowing that it is fighting against an otherworld power. Ark then continues his onslaught of attacks, knocking the Hydra to the ground. This stuns Fumba, wondering how anyone could possibly knock a Hydra down with raw strength. As the fight goes on, Ark eventually gets caught in one of its heads, but uses this as an advantage to make it self-destruct. Now, with one of the heads taken out, he moves on to using his skill judgment to slice off 3 more of the Hydra's heads. As he expected, however, it regenerates immediately, making him wonder if he should use that one skill. He looks around and sees the coast is clear, so he decides to summon one of the strongest demons imaginable. With a beast-like appearance, the monster now faces off against the Hydra, making it an even match. While all of this goes down, Ariane and Kiyomi continue looking for Fumba within the forest. It doesn't take long for them to eventually discover his presence, causing Ariane to strike first. She tells him his time is over, informing him he is going to die today. He doesn't back down, however, telling her that even if she takes him down, she doesn't stand a chance against the Hydra. Ariane then tells him that it doesn't matter because Ark will defeat it, calling him weak in the process. She informs him that all of his strength comes from others, him not being able to do anything himself,